When it comes to Louisiana's non-unanimous jury system, we have a narrative. And the narrative goes something like this. Because the United States Supreme Court has not rendered the system unconstitutional, it is somehow legal, and because it is legal, it is not harmful. I am here today to deconstruct the narrative and to talk to you about the counter-narrative, which is so very important as we search for justice in the state of Louisiana.
This is probably one of the most important bills that we will ever consider as a legislative body. Our state exists as an aberration in the United States of America in that we are one of two states where someone can be convicted of a felony with 10 out of 12 jurors.
I'm embarrassed that I hadn't brought this bill before this time myself. I give JP thumbs up on having the kahunas to get up here and go with a bill that would be unpopular like this. When you vote on this, I want you to think about, is 10 out of 12 good enough for your children? Is 10 out of 12 good enough for your wife? Is 10 out of 12 good enough for your neighbor?
If you like the 1957 film classic 12 Angry Men, then you'll love Louisiana's version, 10 Angry Men. Simpler and faster, this Bayou blockbuster has been packing them into the big house for over 119 years. 10 Angry Men was a vestige of the notorious Louisiana Constitutional Convention of 1898. This black and white classic features a conviction conveyor belt so efficient it's still in existence today. And talk about a captive audience, this low-budget beauty is so popular it's still turning a profit in 2018.
Shocking, savage, explosive.
Simple, speedy, efficient. What could go wrong? Who needs all those messy hung juries and retrials? We know they're guilty because 83% of jurors reached a unanimous decision. Hell, you ain't got to pass the bar to throw folks behind them.
10 Angry Men, a Jim Crow production.
Is there any cards in opposition that wish to speak? I think, yes. Why don't we yield to Mr. DeRosier if you want to come up real quick.
John DeRosier, District Attorney, Calcasieu Parish. I've heard a lot about this system being adopted as a result of a vestige of slavery. I have no reason to doubt that. I'm not proud of that's the way it started. But it is what it is. However, ladies and gentlemen, that was 138 years ago. We'd have two constitutional conventions since then, one in 1974, that have not changed the concept of unanimous versus non-unanimous. They have left it alone.
This campaign was all the right people. It was all the right people.
It came together and did it.
It did, though. It really did. And I have no doubt, like, I cannot conceive of anything happening except victory tonight. Like, I feel that convicted about it.
I ain't saying nothing until we get this.
Till it's over.
Till somebody says.
Don't they give you a preliminary a little bit before?
We'll probably know by 8.
Oh my God, I've been telling everybody you were coming. Okay. And I said she better not make a lie out of me. Oh my God. Okay.
This is my husband, John.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm her partner in crime. Oh my God, nice to meet you. We'll get ready to snap a picture. Hang on. Okay, good. Let's do it. Okay, and I'm gonna give you mine. Now, would you snap a picture of us right quick, and I'm gonna give you mine? Come on, he's gonna take our picture, and then I'll send it to y'all.
When you have non-unanimous jury verdicts, those deliberation processes are actually verdict-driven. When you require unanimity, those deliberation processes are actually evidence-driven. When it's just non-unanimous, they're going to take a quick count and see how close they are to 10. And if they have their 10, then boom, they can go give their verdict and then be done. So y'all are here in Louisiana. A lot of people don't know that it's one of the prison capitals of the world, but it is something that should offend everybody in this room. One of the most dangerous phrases we have is, we've always done it this way. So why are you trying to change this system, a system that they think works? And so when somebody tries to tell you that we've always done this way as their justification to continue to do it. I don't accept that.
I am so utterly offended for you to start your comments and say, I know that this was rooted in slavery, but it is what it is. And I needed you to hear that from me. And I wish you would look at me while I'm speaking with you, because I think I deserve that kind of respect after you just disrespected me on this committee. You are elected to represent everybody, and to admit that it started in slavery and say it is what it is, I hope the people of your parish are listening. And if they aren't, I'm going to make sure that they know what you said today. I am utterly offended. And for you not to even look at me in my face,
Mr. James,
this is a problem.
I'm truly
No,
sorry
Mr.
that you were-
DeRozier.
I don't need your apology.
Hold up, guys.
If you heard the meeting, this is an agenda for the meeting. This is to hand out, but you've got to get these people.
So when you walk into that 1898 Constitutional Convention, you would have noticed that the participants were all white males.
There were around 138 white delegates trying to decide what they were going to do with this newly freed slave population.
These quotes are not just from anybody, and you should know. The first one is from Mr. Thomas Sims, who was the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
We looked at the transcript, and they were very clear about their intentions of the Constitutional Convention.
And I quote to you, "The work we have done should be crowned as worthy. In all states, those in power seek to maintain it. Our mission was to establish the supremacy of the white race in this state to the extent which it could be done legally and constitutionally." Those are the words of the chairman of the Judiciary Committee.
137 years ago this month is when we first got non-unanimous juries in Louisiana. How can you say that you've been convicted beyond a reasonable doubt when two people on the jury don't think you're guilty? Why have we been deprived of the full protection of the Sixth Amendment? Why? Why is Mississippi ahead of us on this? Hello, I'm Ed Tarpley.
Thank you very much for coming, Jane.
Yes, and what is your name?
Linda Benedict.
Well, nice to meet you. Yes, indeed. And who's over here?
Karen Rowley.
Hey, Karen. Ed Tarpley. Good to see you. Lanny's my old buddy from college. We go a few years back. That's right.
If I remember over at the donut shop, he was against the New Deal.
That's right, that's right. I've softened up a little since then. Unanimity is the critical and crucial part of the jury trial protection. Without unanimity, you don't have the full protection of the right to trial by jury. And if you love Louisiana and you believe that our best days are ahead of us, you will vote for Amendment Number 2.
When we did the very first non-unanimous jury talk in the year 2015, the Advocate was in our audience. And after that talk, I met with those reporters at the Advocate to talk to them about how they might be able to help gather data. We should all know now that they've released their findings in the series called Tilting the Scales that came out in April. It is quite compelling, and it is one of the things that I think got this successfully through the legislation, because without that series, there were people like myself who was given anecdotal thoughts. Once that series came out, it was documented with data, and you just can't refute those numbers. Oh, I'm so glad, very glad it helped, very glad. Every time I speak, I get thrown off the stage. I'm so used to it right now. I can go on and on and on with this, so thank you all so much for entertaining this, and if you have questions, you have my email address.
I tell folks all the time that it wouldn't happen if it weren't for you. So.
Well, it was not just me. It was so many people, and I cannot tell you that. But I was like the bulldog, sending the emails and wouldn't stop until we got.
I mean, nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've been preaching the good word to your classes.
Well, listen, I am just a messenger, and without all the army that got this word out, it wouldn't have happened. So listen, we're gonna all go down in history for doing this word.
Yes, ma'am.
And when this vote come in, I'm gonna get on that dance floor and I'm gonna turn up.
There you go. There you go.
It really brought together people from all points of the political spectrum. I mean, here's a conservative Republican, former prosecutor like myself, and Angela, she's a professor at Southern Law School, and Marjorie was the executive director of the ACLU at the time. Well, that's a pretty unusual mix of people right there. I think the real untold story was the leadership of the Louisiana Criminal Defense Lawyers Association. They had decided early in the year to make this a priority item for their legislative package. And they had actually approached me and asked me if I would testify in the committees, and I agreed to do so.
I'm going to yield my opening to the gentleman on my left, and I will reserve my comments for closing.
Thank you, Senator Morrell. Good morning, committee. It's an honor to be here. This is a very important and historic piece of legislation, because I would venture to say that in our lifetime, we will never face another opportunity like this. The opportunity to repeal a 138-year-old law that goes back to the Jim Crow era of Louisiana.
First of all, I'm going to address the white elephant in the room straight up. I know that this bill, there's a lot of talk about the racist element of it. Up front, I'm not a racist. I deplore racism. I've been against racism my entire life. I may be the only district attorney in Louisiana that put a white man on death row for killing an African American, and he's still there. Juries don't represent groups of people. That's what you as legislators do. Jurors are picked, hopefully they will apply the law to the facts. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. People get on juries with agendas, and it cuts both ways.
I wanted to know why the DA's Association hasn't taken a position. Are you aware of why they haven't done so?
Yes, sir. We as an organization never take positions when we have one or two members, three, that are opposed. We have people for reasons, and I'm not here to speak for them about their reasons. But when we don't have virtually 100%, we don't take a position. And that's what happened in this particular situation.
The DA's Association did not take a position because you all couldn't get a unanimous decision. Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am.
Let me see if I got, because I heard you say 2 or 3.
In closing, let me just say this. We are beyond this as a state. We should not be defined by this. We have come so far, and this type of thing holds our state back. I appreciate your time listening to all this, and I would sincerely hope that y'all vote to move this bill favorably as amended. Thank you.
Representative James has moved to report SB 243 as amended favorable. Is there any objection? Committee, I want to commend you. There's no objection. Congratulations, Senator.
Amazing. Oh my God. I am just like, oh my God. Come on, we got to turn up, Will. Oh my Will was first night we started this in that room. And you're just so calm, like you weren't there from the beginning.
It's been a long road.
It has been, no, but it's like, God, Will, can you imagine?
We didn't know what imagine.
Can you even, imagine, like, oh my God.
Now we got more work to do.
I know. But we're going to get it done.
Absolutely.
This is a movement now, and there's no way to go back to the way it was.